Hello everybody, Promise here, back with some more StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty action. This is going to be a Terran versus Zerg between two players who are on the rise. LucifroN, a guy that is, of course, the brother of Vortex. They are both on the same team. I believe they took a year off, or like a year and a half or something like that, to go ahead and try to be a pro gamer and pursue StarCraft full time. Which, you know, makes sense. If you want to become the best of the best in this game, you kind of have to be putting in the time. You don't really have a lot of free time to be doing things like school, like work, and family, man. Who needs family when you have StarCraft, right? I'm just kidding. Of course, you know, have some kind of positive, good relationship with your family members. Very, very important, as they're generally the ones that support you if you're going to be, you know, a professional player in this game. So, I kind of spoke too soon, I guess, but let's go ahead and introduce our players. We have spawning in the bottom left side of the map Cloud Kingdom as our red Terran player. This is in fact going to be LucifroN, who has been absolutely on fire. And if you look on the upper right side of the map, spawning in as our blue Zerg player, this is going to be a player from the team Western Wolves, who is not so popular. He's not an MC. He's definitely not a Dog Ringu in terms of popularity. But this is going to be SortOf, and he himself has been a player that's been getting more attention in the community, getting some results. I believe he was in IEM and WCS Europe. I think he was in both tournaments. I can't really remember. I know Vortex, for example, and LucifroN became a lot more prevalent and more looked at in our community when they were part of IEM. I don't know really about SortOf. I'm pretty sure he was in IEM. But yeah, this is going to be a nice little Terran versus Zerg match. I'm really interested to see, the style that LucifroN has in Terran versus Zerg. I've been hearing so much about this guy that he's just very, very macro-oriented, not afraid to play late game against pretty much any race. But Terran players, you know, there's going to be some Terran players that watch this that watch this cast, and I feel for you guys. TVZ is a very, very hard matchup right now. Unless you're Liquid Teja, you can just pretty much beat up on any Zerg you want, but not many people out there in the community are lucky enough to be Liquid Teja. But let's talk a little bit about the openings from our players. It looks like LucifroN going to go ahead and take an expansion, followed by two very quick gases. So the metagame in Terran versus Zerg has been this Hellion opening into Banshee play. Some players like going Cloak, some players don't decide to go Cloak and invest gas into, upgrades, possibly a stim timing follow-up, or even just, take a third expansion behind it. So we'll go ahead and have to see exactly what LucifroN decides to do with this very quick second gas. This could be double factory play, this could be Hellion play off of one factory, or this can be some quick Cloak Banshee play here from LucifroN. We'll just have to wait and see. As we see right now, he did manage to go ahead and add on a barracks. There's a command center being added. Okay, so he didn't go command center first. He actually went barracks right into command center. So just a very common one racks expand here from LucifroN. Meanwhile, in the base of SortOf, what is he up to? It looks like he went on and grabbed his natural expansion. He is also getting some gas here in the main base. Queens are going to go ahead and pop out. Spawning pool has completed. And, SortOf, if you guys look at the production tab, we see 2 additional queens going to get produced right now very, very soon for SortOf. And this is what Zergs do in TVZ. I mean, you just open up. Some players go 4 queens, some players go 6 queens. Of course, queens are very good for early defense against any kind of marine pressure, any kind of early Hellion builds that Terran players might go for, and it just gives you the utility of getting creep across the map so early on in the game, and that is so important for Zerg players to have creep spread, to go ahead and scout, to see their unit composition of their opponent, to kind of be able to, find the army, to see exactly where the army is on the map. But LucifroN, following it up with a factory, there is 2 Hellions now being produced, but he's going to go ahead and be a little bit, getting a little bit of scouting information. He's not going to win at all with these 3 Marines. In fact, 4 Queens can probably take that out with good transfuse and good control. But LucifroN just, hanging out, moving across the map. Starport is being added as well here for LucifroN, as there's a little bit of lag, unfortunate lag, I don't know what that is. But there's the Hellions on the way, Starport being added, and this is definitely going to be Banshee play here from LucifroN. Not a huge surprise at all. You usually just see Hellions immediately into Banshees, and SortOf not taking a third just yet. Okay, now he's going to go ahead and take a third, as we see some Hellions here going to go ahead and make their way across the map. 44 supply for LucifroN, 52 supply for SortOf. as we see the creep continuing to spread across the map. And LucifroN going to go ahead and send the Hellions into the third expansion. Just going to scout it, make sure that, you know, SortOf is not being too greedy here, making too many drones, making too many lings. As we see, 4 lings are going to get in production right now for LucifroN, or excuse me, for SortOf. Double evolution chambers have started as well, so he's definitely going to go ahead and try to invest pretty heavily into these upgrades early on in this game. Now 4 Hellions, in fact, going to be out for LucifroN. And now this is when SortOf tells himself, okay, 2 Hellions, you're not going to kill my hatchery. 4 Hellions, you're probably not going to kill my hatchery, but it's definitely going to be a little bit more dangerous. So let me go ahead and defend here with the queens. But so far, both players not going for any kind of, you know, cheesy play at all. Look at the harvester count. You see 41 drones up right now for SortOf. 36 SCVs up for LucifroN, as we see 1-1 getting started. And the Banshee is on the map for LucifroN. And in fact, he's getting Cloak. So Cloak is about to finish here very, very soon for LucifroN. Getting a double armory. Very interesting. Double armory this early for LucifroN. Could this be mech? This might be a mech transition here from LucifroN. But he's doing some pretty good harassing here onto the third economy, or the third expansion of SortOf. SortOf looks like he's going to have enough lings to go ahead and deal with this. LucifroN doing some good micro, focusing down some more of these Zerglings. And he's not overextending at all. I mean, this is kind of what makes LucifroN a very good player, is he's not sending in some Hellions, getting completely surrounded by lings. He's just, you know, poking in, seeing what Western Wolves SortOf is doing, poking back out, controlling the map here with his Banshee. Of course, he can even send it to a natural expansion or even to the main to do some damage. But SortOf very much on top of it. Already has spores in position. Macro hatch coming out right now from SortOf, and very quick third expansion being taken here from LucifroN. Looks like SortOf going to go ahead and send some lings into that expansion, trying to focus down some SCVs. Only about 2 or 3, maybe even just 2 died in that last battle here for LucifroN. A little bit of a missed rally there from SortOf. Not a big deal. But this is kind of what I'm talking about, guys. This is exactly what Terran players are doing. They're opening up Hellions, they're getting some Banshees, and they're taking a super quick third expansion. And when you're going mech, and you're having 3 bases, even 4 bases, this is a pretty good map to mech on, as a 4th can be pretty easy to defend if you're having, you know, some nice siege lines in this area. And, you know, it is going to be mech, because the production tab shows us that there's going to be 2 additional factories being added. He's already getting started on the upgrades here from the armory. Meanwhile, the tech here for SortOf, it looks like it's going to be an infestation pit. 28 lings are going to get started right now for SortOf. Some spines coming out right now, as well as we see some Banshees actually moving into the natural of SortOf. 11 kills and 1 kill on this Banshee. Really nice harassment being done here by LucifroN, doing some pretty good economic damage. Looks like some Queens going to go ahead and tell themselves, we have had enough of your Hellion harassment. Queens are going to be able to do some damage. Looks like some lings are now going to be on the map. Good amount of lings on the map right now from SortOf. 39 Zerglings, to be exact, have been produced right now for Western Wolves of SortOf. But, you know, LucifroN is controlling the map, and that's what you have to do. He's, you know, he's not afraid to be across the map into the Zerg's natural with just Hellions and a Banshee. And, you know, SortOf's tech is going to be Ling and Fester. Most likely we'll be able to go ahead and transition into some kind of Broodlord tech or even quick Ultralisks if he decides to go ahead and do that. But LucifroN sitting on 109 supply, 90 supply here for SortOf. As we see some Lings just hanging out here. Looks like they're going to go ahead and, actually most of them going to go ahead and get killed here by the Hellions. But what are the upgrades? 1-1 is going to finish soon here for LucifroN. And for SortOf, looks like 1-1 is already completed. There's going to be 2-2 on the way here very shortly. Adding a Roach Warren and another Evolution Chamber. He's going to be on 3 Evolution Chambers. And LucifroN not stopping at all with this aggression, just continuing to poke and prod, scanning, getting rid of some of these creep tumors. You know, still ahead in supply, taking a 4th expansion, and this whole time, SortOf has not found any kind of window of opportunity to do any kind of link counterattack. And I don't blame him, because when you have Hellions controlling the map this well for LucifroN, what can you really do? How can you just... It's extremely impossible or extremely hard to leave your base and try to do any kind of counterattacks. But SortOf, you know, he's going to be on 3 bases. It looks like he's going to go ahead and try to take this 4th expansion towards the right side. Not a bad idea at all. Siege tanks are going to go ahead and get switched, or going to get started for LucifroN. Siege mode on its way. Thors are being produced. As we look at the units tab right now, he is up to 4 Thors, 1 Banshee, 2 Vikings, and a Marine, 41 Lings, and 2 Infestors. And SortOf doing the smart exact, the right exact thing here. Gonna go ahead and double expand. I can guarantee you guys, SortOf has been trying to take a fourth for a very long time, and when you're pinned on this 3-base economy for, 14 minutes into the game, you kind of have to double expand, or else your opponent's just going to out-eco you. And that's exactly what we're seeing from SortOf. So this fourth is going to go ahead and get established here from LucifroN. I love the decision that it's going to make it into a planetary fortress. SortOf is going to go ahead and scout everything that's going on. But, this can be a pretty hard base to defend if you don't have, the proper, bunker placement and unit positioning here to defend this fourth expansion. So really nice, intelligent choice to go ahead and make this into a planetary fortress. And Viking just hanging out for LucifroN. And, to be honest, LucifroN, the damage that he did early on is very, very significant. And SortOf, he has to kind of be prepared for some sort of timing. Oh, sorry. See what I did there? Anyway, yeah, I mean, this mech army composition from LucifroN, he is absolutely going to hit a sick strong timing. And it looks like it's going to be now. Moving across the map with some Hellions, a good amount of Thors, good amount of siege tanks. Siege mode is actually finished for LucifroN, and 188 supply for the Terran, 156 here from SortOf, and the only thing SortOf can do is try to make some roaches to defend against this. 5 additional roaches in production, 2 lings, he is up to 30 roaches, and 1 infester. But just imagine if he had Hive on the way right now, and imagine, okay, so his Hive is actually finished. What I'm trying to say is imagine if he had some kind of Broodlord or Ultra Tech right now on the map. This army would not be so scary. As we see, LucifroN will be able to go ahead and take that fourth expansion out, and it looks like SortOf not even going to go into the attack, just going to do a counter-attack of his own, moving across the map into the natural of LucifroN, dropping a bunch of roaches, but LucifroN has units in position already, as if he was kind of expecting this. Roach is going to go ahead and drop into the natural, killing some SCVs here and there, but the thing is, the supply count kind of tells a tale. 139 supply for SortOf, 188 supply for LucifroN, as you see him continuing to make some siege tank, and SortOf throws in the towel and calls GG. So I guess SortOf kind of knew it was over because he lost the fourth, and when you're meching and you're on 4 bases, even 5 bases, and as a Zerg, you don't have the Broodlord tech, or you don't have the Ultralisk tech to deal with the mech army composition. It becomes very hard, and SortOf was kind of in an all-in position. Dropping roaches, trying to do some damage, just was not enough, and LucifroN just played it really tactically and had the map control and just did a very good job of taking out SortOf. So that's going to be it for this cast, guys. I'll see you guys next time for more StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty games, and that's going to do it for today. Peace.